What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 steps to healing after narc abuse. And I will be reading from my notes. We have to constantly remind ourselves that the narc isn't entitled to us. And they do not deserve our love and care. But moving forward after the final discard and setting strict boundaries, know that the narcissist will never get over you. And there will be times when we have to keep our cool and be strong. And it takes a great strength to tune out certain things that the narcissist will do to try to get our attention. But here are 5 steps to healing and moving forward after narc abuse. Number 1. Try not to respond to the love bombing. The narcissist will be so desperate to reel us back in. They do things like give us gifts, constantly call our phone. They will call your phone about 50 times a day. Text messages, and even pop-ups. They'll pop up not only at your house, but at your job. They may even pop up at a place that they're familiar with you hanging out at. They do things like that out of desperation. And the narcissist, they will become so desperate, they will do surprise pop-ups and put on a show like if they're they're doing it from a good place. And of course they do these things so that they can act a certain way around other people who you're around. So how to deal with that going forward is by turning down the gifts and ignoring the calls and blocking the calls. Also, you have to use the gray rock. You must always use the gray rock when it's necessary to communicate with the narcissist. And that's like when they pop up someplace. I mean, you can't be just totally silent and don't say anything. You have to give them a response, but always use gray rock when you respond to the narcissist. Never give them a reaction like, what are you doing? And, help them to put on a show. Because they're going to always kind of like prove you out to be the difficult one to deal with. And trust me, they've already smeared your name and things like that to people. But that's just some things to think about going forward. Number 2 is expect punishments and false accusations. But don't respond unless certain situations require you to respond. Like your job or third-party individuals who needs an explanation, because again, the narc will try to smear you. They have all type of tactics already in place. They already have, backup plans just in case it doesn't go in their favor when they're trying to love bomb you. So just keep those things in mind, that you must expect them, always expect them to give a negative backlash to your settled and, your settled response to them. And you owe them the response that you give them. Like, I moved on, I think it's best that you should move on as well. But of course, a narc is not going to leave quietly. They're going to make some noise. They're going to cut up. Everything to get your attention, to let you know that they're still in control. And number 3 is never give them a second chance. Because if you give a narcissist a second chance, it will start all over again. I'm talking about the abuse. And it will be worse. The second chance gives the narc the okay to punish you. That's all a second chance does. If you're expecting it to be better the next go round, it's not. Number 3, well, this goes along with number 3. Don't give them a chance to explain their past behavior or claim that they loved you. Now I'm going to go deep in this part. There are three words that are easily thrown around by people, but especially the narcissists. They misuse this word the most. And that is, I love you, because it benefits them. But to an empath, those three words are the hardest to get over, because the narc's love is what was promised, even though it was never given. And so from that, all you remember is, I loved you. And that is why it's so hard for us to get over a toxic relationship, because not only the narcissist, it's like, a hard place, a brick wall and a hard place. The narcissist, they get you with the lies and the I love you. And when you're exiting, that's what makes you turn around. The thought of, but I thought you loved me. So that word love is easily thrown around by the narcissist. Very much misused. They do not care, let alone love you. The narcissists don't know what it is to be loved, so they don't know how to give love. They're just emotional creatures of habit and unsettled creatures of habit, because we see that all the time, over and over again, when they can't have their way, how they respond and how they react. And it's never a good thing. Number 4 is own the truth of what's going on and be strong. You have to admit to knowing what's going on. Don't put yourself in a state of denial. It's not going to do you any good for the healing process. After dealing with a toxic person for so long, you kind of start to excuse it. And you kind of make it the norm. But that's because you love them. But there's nothing normal about a toxic relationship. Trauma alone is the thing that keeps us connected to the narcissist. But once we become fully aware, with the fact that the narcissist was never what they told us they were never what we were expecting them to be. It's like we finally start to realize that it's not so much of what the narcissist is doing to keep us. It's more of what we want it to be. And that's what keep us in that trauma bond, that state of, illusion. And that's what makes us, kind of delusional to the fact that it was all a lie. Because it was never what the narc promised. It was always what we wanted it to be. So, trauma bonding can really be traumatizing and leave a very bad effect on you. And it makes it hard for you to just kind of go forward, because you're stuck up in this state of delusion. But it's up to you to get yourself up out of it. And the way to get yourself up out of it leads me to number 5. And that's to believe in yourself and be strong. Because the more powerful we become after narc abuse, the more wiser we become to be more aware of a person's true intentions. And that's all my notes. I kind of got stuck on that part because it's hard to explain that, we all have to come to that, and it doesn't come easy. We all have to come to that realization that, dang, they didn't love us, but why do I love them? Well, you didn't love them. You were in love with the idea of what you wanted it to be. And in a way, that's kind of a good thing to be like, oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Now I get it. Like, okay, so I can't just keep holding on to this hurt because it was all just an illusion. Like it was all just something made up. It wasn't real. That's what an illusion is. It's an unreal. It's something that's pretending to be reality. And we have a choice to see it for what it really is or ignore the fact that it is not real. And so, that's what made me kind of like, it's kind of just hard to explain, but they made me stall at that point because a lot of people, it's really hard for people to come to terms with the fact that the love that you claim, they had for you was real. I know it because they bought me this and they did this and they did that. It was all a part of a tactic. That's what narcissists do. They do what they need to do to keep you. It's all a part of the breadcrumbing. But they never do what's necessary. They do what they need to do to keep you coming back, to get you where they want you, but they never do what you deserve. They never give you what you deserve as a person who really love and care for them and have true emotions when it comes up to a loving and committed relationship with someone. So I hope this video was helpful, not hopeful, but hopeful and helpful to someone who is dealing with the struggles of healing after going forward. Like the relationship is totally over with, and maybe the narc has even left you alone and stopped trying to get you back, but you're stuck in that heartbreak. And your mind is constantly wondering and trying to figure out what happened. Never punish yourself for the narc's abuse. And, feel sorry for yourself. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself for a little while, but don't stay there. Don't keep it there. It's necessary for the healing process to own what happened. Recognize it, know what it is, be able to speak on it, because it might even be able to help other people. So share your story with people and get all the support that you need, And another thing I want to go back to was, let me see, one of the things that narcissists do, and that is, that's under number 1. When I said don't respond to the love bombing. Don't respond to the love bombing. But be aware that the narcissist is so desperate to do things that they may even try to hurt you. They may even, I know I've heard of some stories where narcissistic individuals was so angry at the fact that they were being rejected, so they became violent. So don't ignore the signs of violence with the narcissist, and don't feel like you have to accept it just to keep the peace for yourself, because there's no peace within abuse, whether it's verbal abuse or especially physical abuse. Go to the police and file a report and document everything that the narc has done leading up to the physical abuse. Never feel like you have to accept it. And for the guys who have dealt with abuse from a female, and you feel like, man, I didn't do this because it's gonna make me look a certain way because I'm a male and I don't want to put my hands, you can, if you can't restrain the narcissist to the point where they just give up and leave you alone, go to the police. Don't feel like, man, I just let it go because I feel like she just gonna go away. Don't just threaten her with, I'm gonna take it to the police, file a report on you. You're not gonna keep coming around and putting your hands on me. Don't just threaten her. Like, really do it. Stick to it and let her know that I don't have to accept this from you, and you need to go head on, because if not, you're gonna be facing jail time. You keep putting your hands on me. Once you let the narcissist put their hands on you once, they're gonna keep doing it. Don't entertain that. It is toxic. Don't entertain it. Don't give them a pass because they're female. And don't fall for the fake, the fake when they try to play victim. And and they start to cry and put on a whole act for you. Don't fall for it. Be strict. Set strict boundaries. But if they cross those strict boundaries, that's when you have to do what you need to do to further protect yourself. Because this is all about healing. And you want this to end. You want this to be completely out of your life. It's going to always be a part of an experience of your life, but it doesn't have to be your life. So again, I hope this video was helpful to someone. I know it was kind of all over the place and I kept stalling and everything, but sometimes it's hard for me to explain what I really feel. It flows easily in my mind, but when I'm ready to verbalize it, it just doesn't come out right. But anyway, I want to thank y'all for watching. Leave your comments down below and I'll talk to you soon.